Okay, so I just want to do an update. I was going to wait till 70, but I thought, well, let's close this month out. So currently we're sitting right at just about $68,000, which the last one I did was 60. But there's more to that story, mostly because if you look at the cash, so I've actually burned through quite a bit of cash, and some of that was paying off some debt that I had accumulated from the that I explained in the prior video. But the other thing is investing in more equipment to ramp up the side work. So if you watch photography and video stuff on YouTube, you'll see that occasionally you'll see me commenting on there. And so, I've done the stock photography thing for a few years, but I'm actually getting more client work, which is new to me. I never dealt with people, for photography before. It was always just inanimate objects doing stock. And I started doing it just as a favor to, friend of a friend, and I found that I really enjoy it. So I upgraded some of my equipment, and I did burn through a little bit of cash that I had reserved for that. But it is an investment in future income, so I'm okay with that. So I'm down to probably about a little less, no, a little more than half of what I had at my max, but that's okay. We'll get back up there. I did get a new cash income source that gives me about between 2 to 250 per month. So not much, but it's hey, 250 extra month just in cash, just building up. I'll take it. And I actually have not been using my main source of side income because I've just been super busy. But starting this next month, so May, I do plan on going back into it, which would give me another 1,000 to 2,000, depending how much I do it per month. Although the first at least month, maybe month and a half, I'm going to be paying off the some of the stuff that I put on credit. So I bought some stuff outright, but then I did put some stuff, a little bit on credit card. That's what I need to pay off right away. But then I have some stuff that's on no interest payment plans, so PayPal, credit, Amazon, whatever their thing's called, where they actually split up the payment, every month or every couple weeks, and that's a zero interest. So that that takes the sting out of the initial purchase, but you still, obviously want to get it paid off. So for the first, let's say 1 to 2 months, I'm going to be focusing on paying down the little, debt that I have now, just a couple $1,000s, and then I'm going to start really stacking the cash back up because I don't like not having that cash anymore. I liked when I had, close to 6 months worth of living expenses. So that's definitely a big goal, is to get back to having that cash reserves for living expenses and emergencies, right? Because I also had to do quite a bit of car maintenance because my vehicle's racking up the miles now. It's almost 6 years old, so I needed alignment and tires and ball joints, and I was able to do the ball joints myself and saved a little over $800 just doing it myself. But tires for trucks are not cheap, so just 2 tires was about $850. So it is what it is. You just vehicles need maintenance. That's just part of it. So I'm not complaining too much because for a 6-year-old vehicle with over 140,000 miles, it's actually done really well, and it's asked for very little in terms of maintenance. So we'll get through that in a few months. That'll all be water under the bridge, and then I'll start building up the cash reserves again. But so I did speak a little bit about Bitcoin, that I was just dabbling. I have a little under $1,200 that I put in, and it's sitting at about 2,000 right now. So it it waxes and wanes, but I did get really, really close to doubling my money at some point. So it's doing okay. I'm still not savvy enough to do too much into it, but it is interesting. I do like the concept. So going forward, I'm going to be doing that a little bit more. Again, after, when I have the money to spare. Right now, my first goal with the extra money I have is paying off that little bit of debt that I have, and then we'll start playing a little bit more of Bitcoin. The 401k is doing really well. That goes up about roughly $900 a month is what I put into it. Now, I did increase quite a bit the minimum contributions to some of these. So not the 401k, but cash. I guess you could say the cash is going up by an extra $2 to $250 a month. And then my M1, I actually changed from, so I started in the beginning, I had, or near the beginning, I had about, it was $35 per week, which was $5 a day. And then I changed that to $70. I wanted to do $10 a day. And then I changed that to $100 a week, $100 a week. And now I'm at $150 a week. So that's $600 a month that I'm putting into stocks. And I'm definitely seeing the benefits of that. I just hit the $60 per month average, right? So it's between about $52 to $74 in any given quarter, but the average just hit 60. It's like 60.07 now. So definitely going up. The goal, I have a couple goals, and one of them is I want every stock to pay me, an average of, if you break it down, an average of $1 per month. I have some that are paying me, about half of that. So I'm working on that. It's going to take, I think I'm about $7,800 or so dollars away from meeting that goal. So with, $150 a week plus the dividends reinvested, plus I'm also always putting up extra. I'm planning to get there within a few months, maybe a quarter or so. I should be hopefully by sometime in the summer, I'll get there, and then I'll be making $1 per month, which really is $3 per quarter, because I have 4 quarter monthly dividends, and the rest are all quarterly. So they pay out per quarter, $3 a quarter. That's $1 a month, right? So, and that's just a goal that I have to give myself little victories. There's no real scientific reason or anything why I picked that. It's just a small goal. I have a lot of little small goals that work towards bigger goals, and it keeps you kind of motivated. The small ones, you meet pretty quickly, and it just kind of gives you something, kind of that quick rush of victory. And then as you work towards the middle term goals, those take a little bit of work. They kind of stretch your legs out. You have to work for it. But it feels even better when you meet it. And then, of course, there's long-term goals, which are years out. But $60 a month, and actually the 401k is doing about 63 and some change. So yeah, so I'm already between those two, the 401k and my M1. So I'm already above $120 a month when you average it out, between the quarters. So $120 a month plus F.I.R.E sitting. So M1 I have a little under 23,000, 22,700. So 401k, actually same 20. Yeah, the same 22,700 for both of them. And then F.I.R.E is going up. I'm definitely ticking that up faster. So I'm putting on average between about $800 to $1,200 a month in there. And also raise that. I was doing $100 a month. Now I'm doing 4. So between F.I.R.E and M1, I'm putting in automatically every month a minimum of $1,000 plus a few $100s for the dividend payouts and all that. So yeah, I'm creeping up on $1,500 a month, being my minimum amount that I'm adding in every month. And I say that as meaning that it's the minimum, right? So I'm always putting more than that. I mean, again, my F.I.R.E contribution is only $400, but I'm putting 2 to 3 times that much in there. Whatever I have left over at the end of the month. So that's going pretty well. That all adds up to just over 68,000. I'm expecting to be at 70, definitely by the end of next month. but I'm expecting to be closing in on 75,000 by June. That's my goal. So when you think of it, I was just at 60, but that was before I burned through the cash. So to get from 60 to 68 minus the cash, so just since my last video, really it's about a probably $15,000 spread, but obviously it's only 8 because I burned through the cash for debt and for investing in gear. So it's moving quickly. I never would have thought when I started this, a little less than 2 years ago with $0. I never thought I would be creeping up on $75,000 in 2 years. And that's with mistakes. Believe me, I've done stuff that I wish I could go back and maybe spend money a little differently, be a little better, I mean, I always, I buy stuff too that I need or I want, and then, some of it, maybe I think, well, did I really need it? But anyway, that's part of life. I'm not going to get into the weeds on that, but, in 2 years, going from 0 to 75,000, I am fully expecting to be at $100,000 by the end of this year. So that's a year and a half. No, I'm sorry, 2 years and a half. 2.5 years to go from $0 to $100,000, and that's amazing. And one of my favorite things to do is to get other people involved. So I have a little circle of friends that I've convinced to start their own $1 million journeys, and yeah, they're doing great. I mean, some of them are, some of them are really young. I mean, they're college students or just out of college, and they're already making, $50, $60 a month from just their dividends. So, imagine where they're going to be, especially compared to their peers, let's say when they're 30, right? Or if they're a little older already, let's say 35 or 40, they're going to be, making almost either, close to or the income that most people are making at their jobs. They're going to be making it passively. And that's what I want for everybody. I want everybody to have the option of early retirement. There's just no reason to work until you're old and decrepit and you can't enjoy, your money and your health anymore. There's just no reason. It's so easy now to just get started. Once you get started, it snowballs like crazy and builds up so fast. I mean, just looking back, and that's a very strong reason to track everything on a spreadsheet. And I mean everything down to the penny, because you can look back and you say, "Holy cow! In just the last 6 weeks, my net worth has gone up $10,000." And it was all just little baby steps, but it adds up so quick. You get your dividends, you reinvest the dividends. It's, the market goes up, and I understand it goes up and down. And I'm actually down a little bit on a couple dollars, like between $10 and a few $100 on some of these things. So this is a snapshot. The 68,300 is a snapshot. It goes, there's a plus or minus of a few $100 depending on the day and how the markets are doing. But I mean, it's just unbelievable how fast this is growing. I know this is kind of woulda, coulda, shoulda, but if I would have started when I was 20, I wouldn't need to work. I would just have all the free time in the work, because it's so easy once you get started. You just have to be dedicated to it. You have to have that lifestyle mindset change. Shift what you did before. I used to, spend a lot more, and now I've just started putting that money in the investments first. That way I can't spend it, because once it goes in the investment, except for cash has a specific purpose, but once it goes into one of these things, it never comes out ever. So it just builds up so quickly, and I'm so kind of motivated to keep going and share this with you. I'll try to do it a little more often. I will be doing a 70,000 one, so if I don't do anything between then and now, it's going to be definitely by next month. There'll be another video when I hit 70, and we'll do a little more in depth. I'll go through what's paying what. For now, I just wanted to share this with you. Kind of close out this month, and looking forward to the next video at 70 and then 75. All right, so thanks for watching, and talk to you guys next time.